Hey, everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. So I wanted to do this separately, and I can get into it. I'm going to have a live post show um, relatively shortly after this video gets posted. Um, so Grand Slam Mexico, really nothing happened. Nothing happened. But I'll tell you one thing that did happen, that death taxes and Mercedes Mone wins another championship. She is now 6 belts Mone and could be going for number 7. And she already lost the New Japan title. And I know some of you schmucks in the comments are going to come after me saying, well, she lost. She didn't get pinned. I don't like using this word around, but what is happening in front of our very eyes, Mercedes Mone has become a cancer to women's wrestling, specifically in AEW, and anybody affiliated with it. How anybody could, in their good, honest mind, go say something about Becky Lynch and call her Becky Hogan when she had 2 championships. She just won the Intercontinental Championship, but she's in an actual feud. Give me one good reason why Mercedes Mone, on the road to All In a match that she shouldn't be in, by the way, had to go out and win another championship. Another championship. The 6th championship that she has won. She has so many goddamn championships that she can't even hold on to them all. Like Aubrey Edwards, bless her heart, is trying to wrap one of the belts around her. Mercedes dropped one of them because there's so many of them. Because there's only so much gold and so many gold belts that a human being can hold. And Mercedes is not that, like, she's a smaller woman, man. Like, it's just like, what did this accomplish? And then you did the minimal build with Toni Storm. You did the absolute bare minimum with Toni Storm to get set up for All In Texas, where, the sneak attack, Toni Storm looked like Carmen Sandiego, which, shout out that back to my childhood. That was actually kind of funny. And, Mina Shirakawa with the distraction. Mercedes basically gets hit from behind, and it was nothing. It was nothing. And listen, it's just what I keep saying this, and I do not like throwing that C word around in the wrestling business, but it has reached that territory. Because the other thing, and I give credit to some of my friends that I've talked to in group texts, and I talk with a bunch of people around the wrestling industry. Why is this championship match at All In just for Tony's title? Mercedes is carrying around 6 championships now. Can we add more stakes to the match? Why does it have to just be for Tony's title? Why? Anybody want to tell me that? Like, I could potentially pose this on the live stream, but it's just like, listen, man, I'm not surprised by this. The other part of this that really bothered me. This is literally the identical finish that she has been using for a lot of her big matches this year, except opponent goes for X big move. She proceeds to roll them up. Fortunately for Zeuxis, she didn't drop Zeuxis on her head like she did Jamie Hayter at the pay-per-view a month ago. And I know I'm going to get killed because so many stands for Mercedes are saying that she's the greatest wrestler of all time. This is nothing more than an ego boost. Because if you look at everything that we have known about Mercedes Mone, it now makes crystal clear sense. This woman, when she didn't get her way at WrestleMania, 35, and they lost the women's, her and Bayley lost the women's tag team titles, she walked out. Almost didn't come back. She did come back after SummerSlam. Cool. Her and Naomi are going to end up doing one-on-one matches, and they were going to have to potentially job out. One of them was going to have to face Ronda Rousey. One of them was going to have to face Bianca Belair, and neither of them were going to defend the tag team titles, and both of them walked out. Notice how Naomi's back and doing as good as she ever has in her entire career. And she went back to the place that she understands made her. Mercedes is doing this because she is a great wrestler with a horrible gimmick, a horrible character that nobody gives a shit about, except for you uber marks. Nobody cares about it. And she goes out and just wins every championship under the sun. some of these championships that nobody gives a shit about. Like AEW, all you people trying to tell me that, oh, this is going to AEW giving a platform for these championships is going to matter. They didn't even bother. They mentioned that she is the TBS champion. That's it. I mean, there's Austrian promotions that I've never heard of. It's like, listen, if you're going to give a platform for these championships, at least defend them. At least defend them on AEW television. I know that's kind of it's a little bit over the line, but it's like, listen, this is what happens when you get way too much power and you've got a Mark and a fanboy running the company who loves Mercedes and will do anything for her because he gave her basically a blank check and said, sign with me. I will do whatever the fuck you want. She's a cancer, man. She is a cancer. Like this is so unbelievably patently absurd. And it's freaking insulting, man. And fuck me for putting this woman on a pedestal and basically just saying she's the greatest women's wrestler. In ring, bell to bell, there's about nobody better than Mercedes Mone. But she doesn't need to win every fucking championship to prove that. So what does this accomplish? What good did this serve? I'll tell you who else didn't fucking give a shit. Arena Mexico. Holy shit, that place was loud. You could hear people breathing. It was dead fucking silent for that match. Bucket list thing. Arena Mexico. I won a match. I won the CMLL championship. It's like, listen, it's what if your goal is to grow women's wrestling, winning every fucking championship, making them all look like fucking toys, making yourself look ridiculous and like everything's just an accessory, and you're doing this in the middle of the build to the biggest women's wrestling match of all time. I put the quotations around that. Seriously, man. I thought that this was going to be, and maybe the reason why I'm so frustrated, but I really started to turn on this the second that she won her first match against Willow Nightingale, a month after Willow just won her first championship in AEW. And it was nothing more than a means to an end to just get the title to Mercedes. Here we are, basically 13 months later. Here we are 13 months later since that fateful night at Double or Nothing in Las Vegas. And Mercedes still has not lost a match. She now has 6 championships. And she is now with one of her, the TBS title, not even defending that in this match. So, again, who does this benefit? It benefits her. This screams ego, and this is exactly what you don't want in the business. You do not want ego running roughshod over every place. So, whether it's Tony or it's somebody in that building needs to understand that the longer that this goes on, and God help everybody as she fucking wins in All In Texas, which I think is going to happen. This is honest to God one of the more just insulting things that I have ever seen in professional wrestling. It really is, because I thought so highly of this woman and her ability to, break down barriers and break down walls. And this is almost like a lap around the world and just a fuck you to everybody, because she got doubted for so many and was thought of beneath a lot, at least Charlotte and Becky. Charlotte and Becky didn't need to go out and win fucking 17 world titles to make themselves feel better about themselves. Becky won two titles. You want to know why that happened? Because Vince McMahon booked it that way and put 2 titles in that match. They got away from that title immediately at Raw and SmackDown and after that unification match at WrestleMania. All this screams to me is that she got all this power. She is doing whatever the fuck she wants. Tony Khan can't do anything to stop her. And even if he wanted to, he's such a freaking mark, and he's not a boss. And he's not going to put his foot down. That women's division is in fucking shambles. And you go to another company's place on their show or on a cross-promoted show, and you win another championship. What good does that do, man? How is that growing the women's division? How is that helping other promotions when you're just taking their titles? So go ahead, hammer me in the comments. Go ahead, get at me on Twitter. Go ahead, do whatever you want. I know all you people who are going to stand up for her. You're fucking marks. This is bullshit. This is an absolute facade, and this is an absolute, you are all being hoodwinked into believing that she is so great. Because if she was so great, she wouldn't need those 6 championships. She wouldn't need to challenge Toni Storm. You would have a better women's division. But this is what you get, man. Again, I don't like using the C word when it comes to, certain people in the wrestling business. She's a cancer. And it's got to get fixed because it is running roughshod and out of control in the business. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.